we've talked. Okay, the Municipal Planning Commission for Thursday, August 14th, 2025 will now come to order. Please call the roll.
Mayor Starr,
Here.
Tanner Salyers,
Here.
Mrs. Ellsworth,
Here.
Mr. Hawkins,
Here.
Mr. Swallow,
Here.
Mr. Deal, Mr. West,
Here.
and Brian Ball here with us.
We do have a quorum.
I'm a non-voting member.
Okay.
Yeah, we do have a quorum.
Very good.
Before we get to the order of business and everything, I just want, this is part of the activities for the Municipal Planning Commission. I wanted to read this. As a reminder to all who are here today, the purpose of the Municipal Planning Commission is to balance the public good with the private property rights and interests. Also, the Commission carries out all other powers and duties conferred upon it by the City of Mount Vernon's zoning ordinance or other city ordinances and the laws of the state of Ohio. This is a public meeting, and there are rules of decorum that we follow. We are committed to the democratic process, individual rights of expression, robust debate, and tolerance for different viewpoints. The following general rules of civility are expected, including addressing others in a respectful manner, no insulting, personal attacks, intimidating, or offensive communications, no harassment, no willful destruction or damage of property, and no disruptive behavior. I would like everybody to please silence all of your cell phones or electronic devices at this time, and also refrain from private conversations during the meeting. If you need to come and go throughout the meeting, please do so in the least disruptive manner possible. Those of you who would be offering public comment today, you must first be sworn in by reading the statement at the lectern, and aside from the presenters, keep your comments to 4 minutes or less. And again, the purpose of this commission is to oversee that the law is followed and planning concurs within which the spirit of those laws and regulations have been adopted by the city of Mount Vernon and the state of Ohio. And so with that, we have had the call to order, and so commission members, in your packets were the minutes for July 10th, 2025 session. Are there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
To move for the approval of the meeting minutes, and it's been seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? They are approved. Okay. We have 3 items today. Two of which will be, we will take public comment on. The other one is a pre-application meeting, so we are not going to be ruling on this today. We're not going to be deciding anything. This is, I know there's a lot of questions that have come forth, and this is a chance for the developer to be able to answer some of those questions that you all have sent to us. Many members of the community have sent to us. And so the first one up, if Mr. Marvin, if you would read that, we'll get underway then.
Okay, you have to coach me through this here, so. Okay, the 2025 MPC-05 parcel number 66-07961.000 pre-application meeting for major subdivision.
Thank you. And who is going to be presenting on this? Is the attorney or the developer present? Okay. Well, this is going to be a short one. Anyway, I guess we could, without the person here, we can move on.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a problem if we go ahead and move on without anyone to describe this project?
Yep.
Okay. We will move on. Would you please go on to the next one, please?
Next will be 2025-MPC-6, the Heartland Commerce Park replat number 3.
Okay, someone describing this project. Yes, please come on up, Mr. Marco, and read the statement you have before you, and the floor will be yours.
All right, my name is Zach DeMarco. My address is 10 Southgate Street, Mount Vernon, Ohio. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability. So help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so the first one in front of you that I have is this replat at Heartland Commerce Park. The good news about this is likely the last replat unless one of the prospective purchasers here in the future comes to us and wants something moved around. But as you know, I represent the land bank, and what this replat is doing is adding the 2 parking lots that are east of Sandusky Street. The reason why these had not been submitted previously is these were part of the last conveyance of land from Cooper Cameron. So at the time we originally platted this, we didn't have ownership of these lots. Now that we own the lots, these are upgraded improvement parking lot areas that will be used to service the occupants and owners within the Heartland Commerce Park. There's not really been any change to them except that they've been updated and they look nice to match the rest of the parking lots in Mount Vernon. So I don't, they're also zoned PD the same as the rest of the plat, everything that's been platted within the park. I'll entertain any questions you have about the replat.
Members of the commission? It looked pretty straightforward from us, so. Okay. Okay, is there anyone who else wishes to speak on this particular case? Okay, I'll ask Mr. Ball, are there anything from engineering or development management that?
No, these meet all the standards. Parking lots, we observed them being constructed and improved. Those meet the standards. They've upgraded the ADA access along the sidewalks. So there's no utilities involved other than they do pay their stormwater fee for all the parcels associated with the project, with the park.
Mr. Vernon, do you see any issues legally?
No.
Mr. Marvin, anything from zoning?
Not that I'm aware of.
Not that I'm putting you on the spot.
No,
no. Trial by fire, you're gonna be drinking from the fire.
No,
He's pointing to Scott, okay.
Nothing.
Hearing none, then the chair will entertain a motion.
Move to accept the petition offered.
There's a motion to accept.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. For the acceptance of this, any discussion? All those in favor say, well, let's do the roll call. I'm sorry, roll call.
Mayor Starr,
Yes.
Mr. Salyers,
Yes.
Mrs. Ellsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins.
Yes.
Mr. Swallow.
Yes.
It's approved. Okay, the next one on the case is Mr. Marvin. I'll have you go through that one on
Yes.
18 East Vine Street.
Yes, we have, next up, we have 2025-MPC-07, 18 East Vine Street condominiums.
Okay. Mr. DeMarco, you're going to be representing this one again. Since you've already sworn in, we'll.
No.
Oh, you have to do it for this one also. I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr.
No worries. My name is Zach DeMarco. My address is 10 South Gay Street. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
Welcome again.
All right, thanks. Here again on behalf of the Land Bank. This is an exciting project, which I'm sure you've noticed from the street, that looks good. It's going to be an awesome addition to the community. So what we're looking at is the old Mount Vernon News Building at 18 East Vine Street. What we're seeking to do here is file a condominium plat that would divide this building into 3 units. So the bottom floor is an educational space used by the NAS. The top floor will be the Founders Food Hall space and then office space. So we've had prepared a condominium plat which sets forth the space for each unit together with a declaration which will govern the establishment of the condominium. So at the end of the day, what we're looking at here is that building being divided in essentially 3 different sections to serve 3 different purposes. Because that building's already in existence, there's not any particular parking issues that we're aware of, other than there'll be public parking along the street and the lots across the street there. And the land bank is very excited about this building and is seeking your approval on this condominium plat that we have submitted today. So I'll entertain any questions on this as well.
Any questions for Mr. Marco? Okay. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak on this particular matter? Mr. Ball, is there anything from an engineering standpoint that?
No, they have, the building's being modified with all the, basic fire suppression, new utilities. They're even gonna reconnect the sewer. The storm drains were connected to the sanitary. That is being corrected in the major reconstruction, so my department doesn't have any issues.
Thank you. Mr. Bourne, are there any legal issues that you see or zoning? I won't put Mr. Marvin on the spot again.
I reviewed the covenants that were submitted, and I saw no legal issues with those, and I'm not aware of any zoning issues with the property.
Okay. Well, at this point, the chair will entertain a motion for MPC 2025-07.
I would move that we approve this request.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mayor Starr,
Yes.
Mr. Salyers,
Yes.
Mrs. Ellsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins,
Yes.
Mr. Swallow.
Yes.
It is approved also. So, were you here to talk about the development on 0 Vernon View Drive? Okay, very good. Yes, sir. Is there objection if we go back to the top of the list, and since everybody's here, we might as well take advantage of everybody listening and but we have to get together again. So, okay. We need to reread it then, please.
Sure. Beginning with 2025 MPC-05, parcel number 66-07961.000, the pre-application meeting for a major subdivision.
Again, this is a pre-application meeting. We're not taking public comment at this point in time, but we do have the questions and everything that you all have submitted, many of you submitted to us. And so this is a courtesy. We're not making any decisions today. And so, sir, if you're ready to come up and talk about the project, we'll have you read that statement and have you swear in before, then the floor will be yours then.
So I know we had some technical difficulty getting our site engineer,
You
sworn
got
in
to start
first.
with the statement there.
Gotcha. Very good. My name is Chris Wallace. Need my address as well.
Yep.
My address is 1013 Willowbrook Court, Plain City, Ohio, 43064. I affirm that my testimony is truthful to the best of my knowledge and ability, so help me God, or under penalty of perjury.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. As I was saying, we had some technical difficulties. The site engineer could not be here in person. We were hoping to connect with him via Teams or Zoom or some other mechanism, but we're not able to do that, so I fear that he was probably going to be able to answer more of your questions than I am able to. I don't know if it would be permissible to get him via Teams on my laptop or to call him
No.
via speakerphone, or is that probably,
No.
I see by the reaction on your face that maybe
It
is not allowed.
Not for public meetings of this nature. It's not allowed. It's got to be in person.
Okay, so we'll make sure he is here for any future meetings, and we'll make clear that he needs to be here in person, and there's no Teams or Zoom capability. So yeah, my name is Chris Wallace. I am the legal counsel for the developer of this particular project on Vernon View Drive. My client has submitted for your review and approval their plans to develop this site on Vernon View Drive. The site is currently zoned R1 for single-family residence. They have put forward or in front of you a plan to build 101 single-family residences on that site. As you can see from phase 1, they will build lots 1 through 72, and in phase 2, they will build lots 73 through 101. So that is the plan you have before you. Obviously, this site has come in front of you before. We were looking to do a planned development. That was obviously overturned on a referendum. So now we come back to adhere to the standards and guidelines that are laid out in your code regarding an R1 single-family residential plan. and that is the plan my client has put together and is seeking your support, your approval of that plan to develop, as I said, 101 single-family residences on Vernon View Drive.
I would note that this is not here for approval today. This is the required meeting between the property owner and developer and the municipal planning to
Yeah.
get comments prior to it being submitted for approval.
Right.
Correct.
This is preliminary, it's a
Yep,
courtesy
sure.
to the commission and the community to see what the preliminary thoughts are and
Yep.
gauge what our feedback has been at this point.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
So you have, you said 101,
Yes, sir.
okay. Anything else that you want to share? Are you ready for questions from the,
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take some questions. That is fine.
Mr. Swallow, you think you were ready to?
So, from the developer standpoint, is there only one entrance and exit? I see only one on the plot. Is that only one?
It is currently designed to have just one entrance and exit to the development. That is correct.
Okay. Are you going to be responsible for any road improvements within the development itself?
So we have talked with Sam Fokin with economic development, and he has put us in touch with both the legal counsel for the city to talk about a possible TIF, possible NCA to fund some of the road work improvements, some of the infrastructure improvements that are needed for the site. So we anticipate, pursuing those available incentives to fund some of the infrastructure improvements that are necessary for the site.
Okay. Thank you. The lot sizes are permissible within the R1 zoning. Can you give us an idea of what size of a house that you are thinking about building?
So I believe, if I recall from last time, I think we're in the neighborhood of, I believe it was 1,500 to 2,000 square feet homes, or from what I understood, that the
Okay.
developer, that may be a question the developer can answer later on, but I think that's the general area that we're looking, right around that 2,000 square foot
Okay.
target.
Okay. And are they owner occupied, to be owner occupied, or rentals?
No, they are to be owner occupied.
Okay. Should I ask all of these?
Whichever one, Mr. Swallow, if I can jump in.
Please.
So, community members, if you see some of us, we have this essentially a color-coded chart. And what this is we've taken a lot of the commentary that we've received from the community and basically taken all of the comments and questions and ranked these by propensity of questions asked. And then we've also designated who the responsible party is too. So some of these questions are more questions for the city. Some of these are questions for the developer. Some of these are questions, frankly, for Intel, so they are not here. But, and as Mr. Swallow is asking, there's going to have to be a kind of a shared arrangement here. And no, you don't have to ask all these. But
I'll be glad to, but
since I'm talking, I'll go ahead and jump in here. And I think that's a very valid point. You've brought up, there have been a couple of the most important questions, or when I say most important, I'll say they're all very important. But the highest propensity, or the questions that were asked the most, that got them up in that priority ranking, were, are these going to be owner occupied or rentals? Another question that has been asked repeatedly is this going to be HUD housing?
It is
No,
not.
no anticipation of pursuing HUD housing.
Not at all.
So these are questions that came from the community, I assume from the people probably in this room. So you have asked, and this is the developer answering your question. The city has no anticipation of assisting this developer in pursuing HUD funding, and they have no anticipation of pursuing HUD housing in that area.
Correct.
They want these to be owner occupied, not rentals. That's what he's saying.
Correct.
All right. So if he pulls a switcheroo on you, he told
You
you
have
where
my
he lived.
address now, I guess.
Yeah.
You can come after
All
me.
right. So Another question that was asked will these homes be stick-built, modular, prefab, manufactured trailers? And now you're starting to dip into what is permitted in our zoning regulations, but I'll let you answer. What kind of homes are you looking at building over here?
Stick built.
Stick-built homes?
Yes.
All right. Do you have a particular design in mind?
I don't believe we have a particular design in mind at this time. I know there had been some communication with a few different local builders to build those homes, but I don't think we have particular design in mind at this point in time.
Okay.
If that has changed since then, I'll be happy to, get you that information as soon as possible.
Will the housing quality match the surrounding neighborhoods?
Yes, we have every intent to do that.
Okay.
Can I interject to ask what a price point you're thinking of?
Oh boy, once again, that's probably best for Clint, who couldn't be here tonight. He probably knows the price point better than I can. I want to say last time we were in I thought 350 to 4 range was kind of where we were at. I think that was the range we were thinking last time we were here.
So, on piggybacking off of that, how will this project ensure that it doesn't lower surrounding property values? So,
Yeah, as stated, we have every intent in partnering with a local builder to build quality homes that will, I believe, enhance the quality of the neighborhood and do nothing to detract from the quality of the neighborhood and surrounding home values.
anybody want to ask a question, or shall we keep going?
Might as well keep going.
All right, well, I'll just keep going.
You're on a roll, you're on a roll.
These are the first questions came in.
Right, yeah.
Let's see what-
So, since we're asking some of these questions, it's only fair that some of these questions were directed about this project, but frankly are more of a responsibility for the city. And since we have city officials in the room, I'm going to look at
We can address those. as they
myself,
become-
Mr. Ball, and the mayor here.
So you want me to ask them?
Well, self.
Okay,
yeah.
that's so. So has a traffic impact study been done for the east side of Mount Vernon, including this and other developments?
I guess, did your team do a traffic study at all? I can't remember.
I don't know. That would be one question that was probably best for the site engineer who is not here this evening with
They
us.
may have done some traffic counts, but yes, I believe it was 2018, we had Carpenter Marty do what we call the pass-through study. And I haven't looked at it recently, but, ODOT does regular counts on State Route 768 Vernon View Drive. So we would be able to, knowing the density and the probability of travel, we could solve out what the incremental increase in traffic would be.
We can go ahead and be the skunk at the garden party here on the one-way in to a 101 unit. No.
It doesn't match our transportation plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to find ways essentially to connect to Coshocton Avenue.
Got it.
And also out to the east where it will connect with the other development that's being done that they have expectations that they will connect there. So it will alleviate traffic in both directions as well.
So, and we look at that,
And
so,
that's something that we'll have to get together. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and I say no with such a blunt force trauma to your plan, yeah. But I want you to take that back and start looking at alternatives, and so the community knows. And we look at that for two reasons. One, public services, safety service director here. We look at public services, I can't have, a plow going into one community with a cul-de-sac and then turning around, and then going into another community with a cul-de-sac and turning around.
Sure.
Number two, for emergency services, for those purposes, I can't have 101 homes with, however many hundreds of people crammed into a one-way street, especially one that kind of, makes a crook like that. So, and then not to mention the topography of the area, it's a recipe for disaster that we won't allow, especially when, we're glad to hear that you want to take an opportunity to look at, the incentives for TIF and NCA. But when those are on the table, then we get back to the table and start talking about, okay, well, that's a carrot for development,
Yeah.
you got to meet us halfway with some of this stuff.
Sure.
And we also want to consider, the disturbance that the existing communities would feel with that and want to limit that as much as possible, right? So a question that didn't really, because the propensity wasn't there as much, it didn't make it into this questionnaire here. But will there be I don't know, barrier vegetation or things like that? Those are kind of things that we have to make sure that we are, protecting the existing property owners while also recognizing that you are a property owner and have a right to develop your property. So,
Okay, thank you.
I'll shut
So
up now.
you did kind of address, how will congestion at Coshocton Road, Beach Street, and Kroger's be addressed? And I'm not putting words in your mouth, so I'll just ask the question. You can answer it again.
Well, you want me to talk about it?
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think the development plan, the mayor has the authority to have a transportation plan. We have not had a chance to take it to council, but this transportation plan was actually developed by the previous mayor. This is not new. The people who sold the property had a copy of it. The people who bought the property have a copy of it. So it requires a minimum of 3 exits from the site. So that is required. So 1 exit is not acceptable. And then this would connect, because again, this requirement was given to Slayball when they built their project. Their phase 3 also has a rear exit that would connect to this road that's in the future connector that's in the master plan that would go from Upper Gilcrest to State Route 768 and then connect to US 36.
So let me jump back into a couple, if you don't mind, a couple things that we can easily put to rest. There was in our yellow section, which is in the priorities here, why is the zoning change from R1 being considered despite resident opposition? It's not. It's staying R1. This is R1. This is compliant with R1. Might be aggressively compliant with R1, but it is compliant with R1. There are other things in it that may not be so compliant, and that we have to look at transportation, we have to look at public safety and services, we have to look at stormwater, we have to look at things like that. But as far as lot size, as far as the materials for building, those are the things that we're looking at, and as long as those are compliant, box checked. So, but we are not, this board, or this commission is not considering, so if they showed up and they're like, what do you guys think about PDD? We think that's great for another location, ship has sailed.
In addition, there are other parts of the zoning code that this impacts that have not been taken into account. As you mentioned before, the screening, there are specific screening requirements which this plan does not tackle at all, which will need to be added prior to any submission.
I think along with that, if I might also just, it looks like you're gonna be removing a lot of trees for this. And so before coming back to municipal planning, we will insist the Shade Tree and Beautification Commission sign off on the tree replacement schedule that you would have. There would have to be an inventory. And again, that's something that we can have you work with the engineering department on to figure that out. So yeah, it's another important part of that steps.
Very good. Yeah, we'll do that.
So with everything that we have mentioned, does the plan align with zoning code 1105.1 on density and congestion?
I mean,
I cannot see how it does not align with the,
it clearly meets with the density and the lot size.
Yes.
It pushes, it is to the exact limit, but I see that it is likely consistent with that. Like I said, there are other parts of the zoning code beyond 1105 that it likely does not comply with, that they will have to bring it into compliance prior to any successful approval by this board and then further by council.
Thank you. I was asking that, I knew that answer. I was just asking for the public. Because if you're narrowing your question to whoever asked that question, I have no clue who asked it. But if you're narrowing your question to 1105.01, then yes, it does comply. But again, as everyone has said, there's other issues that we as a board need to deal with before approval.
So another question that's kind of in that same category. Does the city have the capacity to provide water, and I'll group these, water and sewer? Yes, we do. Does the city have capacity to provide electric and gas? We don't provide electric and gas, but I'm sure the electric and gas companies have the capacity to do that. Take that, the whole electric capacity thing, that's a 2-hour symposium. Stormwater service, now I'm gonna turn that one over to our stormwater engineer here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the site's currently served by the city stormwater system. It will continue to be. And, you know, we are, as we tell every other developer, we're not accepting variances. You have to follow all of our rules, and you have to follow all the EPA rules. As we say, the center run watershed is at capacity, so you can't discharge water above the rules. So the retention, detention requirements will have to be met, and it's possible to do that. Other folks are doing that. You know, some of these sites, we're actually seeing that they're improving it. For the sites that are cornfields, the post-construction is actually less runoff than a cornfield. So it is possible. Other people are meeting the standards. So it has to meet the standards, and that's what we're gonna do.
Just a question, sort of related to that. Is this going to be an HOA area, or is this just private owners just selling lots outright?
Private owners.
Okay.
I don't believe there's any discussion of an HOA at this point in time.
So then who's responsible for the green space and the ponds that are, retention ponds that are in many of the flats here?
I guess to jump onto Mr. Hawkins' question, that this new development will require a private stormwater system. What plans does the developer have for the maintenance and upkeep of that?
Yeah, once again, that would probably be a question best for the site engineer. I'll leave those questions for the site engineer to address at a later date, or hopefully he can get back to you here in the next few days with that answer.
Yeah, tell them to look up 920.24.
Got it. Will do.
Will this development include parks, trails, and green space?
Yes, as it currently is drawn, the plan you have in front of you, there are some open green space that is available, or that is planned, I should say, that is planned for the development, along with some tree-lined streets as well. So yes, that is currently in the works, in the plans.
I see you do have sidewalks indicated there as well?
Yep, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Good.
Will the streets and sidewalks be public or private?
Public.
That was one of the questions. Here's another question. Will this project be built in phases or all at once?
Phases.
All right.
I believe
And
in
how
two-
many phases?
I believe in 2 phases, as I said, lots 1 through 72 in phase 1, then lots 73 through 101 in phase 2.
Okay, so
Cheryl, did you?
what is it? So there'll be, 2 stormwater ponds in phase 1 and 1 stormwater pond in phase 2? Is that what we're seeing?
I only see
It depends on which, there's a couple of. This one
I see 2
has,
ponds.
All right, maybe that's a question for, yeah, so one drawing has 2 ponds and one drawing has 3 ponds.
I believe the latest drawing, yeah, maybe we have a couple different versions.
yeah.
I believe the latest version had 3.
Okay.
I see the 3.
The color one has.
It's not on the
has
color one. It's not on the color one.
But
I've
there's
only
on
seen
the
one with
corner.
drawings. Or with
Well,
When you
107.
I have only seen one that has 3 ponds.
Yeah.
Which means that one's not.
The color one has these colored, but then doesn't have the,
Right.
that's not colored. But on this, the zoom in one, maybe, yeah, if it's,
Actually, there is a one later in the packet.
There's
has
multiple.
The color.
oh, there's a.
Below the
So here,
phases.
this is probably, you can see these side by side, they're like two different
Yep,
options.
on the last page. Yep, right here. Okay, so there is a color one. And hopefully,
There we go.
yeah,
Uh,
keep going.
yeah, scroll to the next one.
Touchy.
It's like this file is.
It's the last one. There you go.
That little-
That one,
Here. Her iPad's a little,
Flag.
do you want a stylus?
you trying to say our fingers are fat?
Well, those, I have trouble with it too. I mean,
It
it's
just
saying,
keeps
like,
jumping.
My fingers are, I think our hands are about the same size.
There we go.
That was it.
It doesn't
Yeah,
want to
that's
take
the
it
one.
on. One more time.
May not be, maybe,
Yeah,
It's too big.
it just
This
keeps
excludes green
buzzing.
space.
Files.
yeah, it took a while to print it, so.
One of the questions is also related to the schools and enrollment and so forth. What do you, in doing the research, I don't know if this is something that you or your colleague could answer, but what do you expect in terms of children, school-age children, the population in here is, and go back to national averages or whatever that is the formula, so you can address that a little bit.
Yeah, so we would anticipate, with 101 homes, I don't have off the top of my head what the national average is per home. I think it's what, 1.5, maybe?
Closer to 2 now.
Closer to
I think
2
is what
now.
it is.
So yeah, we would expect somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.5 to 2 per residence.
Children or residents?
Children, excuse me, children, yeah.
Are you projecting this as multi-generational housing or senior housing or starter housing? Do you have a sense of?
Yeah, I view it as starter homes. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what the market we're trying to connect to. Like I said, in that, 350 range. I mean, that's getting up there for a starter home, but that's kind of what the market is kind of dictating these days. Starter homes are not that buyer friendly anymore. So, but yeah, that's the segment of the population that we would be targeting. Yes.
So we would think of children,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's a safe assumption.
Sure. And I would assume that as the developer, all of the site work, the sidewalks, the green space, that's covered under your development costs, correct?
Correct.
I think we've taken care of our list.
One question that has been here in relation to the project that happened in Crestline. What, I guess, lessons learned, or how this is going to be different from that particular project from that company?
I was not involved in that project. I was not legal counsel for that project, so it's difficult for me. Once again, Clint, the developer, maybe he can speak more to that issue. As I said, I was not involved with that project. I was not legal counsel at the time, so I cannot speak to that issue.
Thank you.
Lacey did have a question for this group. You do have the ability to comment on the road names. So she wanted your feedback if there was any thoughts on the names of the streets. That is something that's in this jurisdiction.
We don't necessarily have to decide on at
No.
this particular point in time. No.
She wanted me, that was the one thing she asked me to remind you was, to remember that we do get
So
to.
we can throw out some names.
I mean,
yeah.
I think the
I
obvious.
know, right?
I was thinking Tanner Way.
I like that, yeah.
I was gonna say Star Lane. Is that interest you at all? Or, you know, I don't
Already
know.
is one.
There already is one. Somebody beat us to it.
You can't have Star Lane.
Somebody
I mean,
beat
the
us to
obvi-
it.
the
Darn
obvious-
it.
Not in the city, though.
Right, yeah, it's outside the city. Anyway, the obvious thing is a continuation. I think she might be getting at a continuation of current roads that
Well,
would.
yeah, I mean, depending on how they have to do
Sure.
the changes to meet the
Right.
3 exits.
Yeah,
There very well may need to connect them to other roads.
Yeah.
And then we'll just continue the names from there.
and along with that, there is a critical user that is right in that area as well that's been begging for another mode of egress from their business. And it's again, it's a one-way in, one-way out. Like I said, they're a critical user and they need dual access. And so we would look at it, sort of incorporating how they can help out with that too.
Yep.
I also have a question about one of the maps you have has the 2 ponds and green space, but the next one has 3 ponds and no green space, which I know we can't see on the screen, but do you have any idea
I do
whether the
not.
green space has been,
Yeah, the only one the most recent one, what I thought was a final plan was the one with 3 ponds and no green space in the middle, but it would have had the green space, if I may. It basically extended the green space like back behind here and removed this green space. I don't know, this one looks like it has.
that's the 2 ponds?
This one has 100, the one you're looking at has
Yeah, this one has more
107,
lots, too.
and it's also missing number 57, but, so I think this one must
This is
be,
an older iteration.
yeah.
Okay.
I think the one with 2 phases, the 101 lots, with this removed.
That
and
was
green
not
space
phased
basically
either.
Connecting here and the pond here is the most recent iteration.
And then the green space has been moved to the perimeter,
Correct.
the south perimeter?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay, just for the record, the one with 2 ponds is drawing labeled CP01, which is page 3 of the packet. And again, for the official record, the drawing with the 3 ponds and the southern green space is drawing CP04, which is page 7 of the packet.
Thank you.
There are 2 more questions in here that are actually more driven for the city. Who will pay for necessary utility upgrades? And how will police and fire, EMS, and KCH handle increased demand? So let me answer the police, fire, EMS, and I cannot speak to KCH. That's Knox Community Hospital. That's up to them. But obviously, we keep in constant contact with the leadership of KCH. They're aware of development, and the mayor has communications with the Knox Public Health and KCH regularly, so they're aware of our population growth. Our police and fire, if you've been paying attention recently, and of course, when I say police and fire, I include EMS. We've been growing our departments as needed, not only with as our population grows, but as modern policing grows and what our needs are here, as well as our healthcare needs. So as you can see, our training has increased, paramedics have increased, our equipment has increased, so we can meet the demands of Mount Vernon and our service area. So that will not be an issue, and you can rest assured that we will always meet the demand there. And as far as utility upgrades, we have met our, we've always tried to strive to meet that phrase, growth pays for growth. So when you see this gentleman come in and start using alphabet soup like TIF and NCA, those are the tools that allow us to allow growth to pay for growth. So not only have we increased those TAP fees, so when they start to get this work going, but also these tools for growth like the TIFs and the NCAs and things like that. You'll see just a litany of things come through council, and it's a lot of legalese and 50 pages of this and that, but that's the work that is required for that growth to pay for growth, that additional millage to show up. That way it's not burdening the current taxpayer for these projects that come on. So if we get to that point and you guys want to, and Mr. Ball here was talking about the stormwater assessment, which we've done with Gilchrist Estates, which we're looking at right now with Liberty Crossing. That would be something that you would essentially have to do if there's going to be no HOA. So, you know, there are tools that allow for it, and I'd say this as well. Those are also tools that keep the cost of homes down. While not necessarily with the property taxes, but, you know, allowing that to shift as a shared resource with the community, and particularly the government. We don't just slap that as an assessment on your, you know, the housing cost to the developer. So, to answer these questions, yes, the city can, with our safety forces, we can meet these needs. Yes, there are tools that we can pay for the utility upgrades, but the developer is at the table with that as well. And exercising these tools keep the housing costs down, and it does not put a burden on the existing tax base that we have, so.
Very good.
Any other questions?
I think we've
for,
hit most of these.
Yeah.
And I'll go ahead and answer, you know, it's a little cheeky with the, shocker, with the Intel delay. There was a question that says, Intel was delayed to 2031. Is there still an urgency to build now? I can let you answer this, but I do want, people have said this before, well, Intel's been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, so clearly no one's gonna move here. Every development that we have had has, particularly, I even look to the Rockford development. They booked those apartments. Those were apartments. They booked those out before they were even done hanging the drywall. So this has nothing to do with Intel. But does you, Mr. Wallace, does your development have anything to do with Intel?
No, it does not.
Okay, well,
No. And I would just echo that sentiment that, you know, Central Ohio is still behind on housing starts. I mean, in addition to being an attorney, I'm a county commissioner in Madison County. I can tell you we're building lots of homes, particularly in Plain City where I live, and we're seeing those homes filled up, you know, almost instantaneously. So there's still a great, tremendous demand for housing in Central Ohio. We're still behind some of our Midwest neighbors like Indianapolis and others in catching up. So yeah, I think the demand for housing in Central Ohio is going to be there with or without Intel.
and we had a momentary pass out when we were talking about a starter home being anywhere from $350,000 to $400,000. But this is a simple rule of economics with supply and demand. If you have a choke point on supply and you don't allow that to meet demand, price goes up. So I have to urge everyone to keep that in mind. If we say, no, don't build these homes, no, don't build these homes, and then when we hear that a starter home is $400,000, well, where are you gonna go?
Yeah. And to echo that, I know there's a lot of MI homes that are being built in Plain City, and you can't find one that's under $500,000.
All right.
Every single one of them, $500,000 plus.
So pardon me if this is a bit of an ignorant question, but you're gonna build phase one, having sold the properties ahead of time? Or are you building to meet the demand as it's coming in? Does that make sense?
Are you asking, are we
Like-
gonna sell the lots, or are we gonna build and then sell the lots?
Yeah, exactly. That's a
Yeah.
better way of putting it. Yeah.
So I believe we're going to sell the lots to the builder. That's what
But
I
not to
anticipate.
the homeowner.
Correct.
Okay. So if the demand is not that much, we just won't be building as quickly out there as possible.
Okay.
That's a possibility.
Okay.
Possibility.
If the demand is such, then,
Then you will build to the demand.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
And I will get clarification on the plan. I'm a little nervous now that there's two plans out there.
Yeah.
So I'll get a little clarification as to what plan exactly it is. So I just got a text from the client now. Maybe he's telling me that's not the ones they submitted. So
Okay.
maybe there's a little bit of confusion on which one is submitted.
Well, and here's the thing too, there's a deadline, so if they continue to submit past the deadline after it's published, we don't change it,
Oh, sure,
so
sure.
that's possible.
I think we submitted the plans on the day that they were due. I don't think we submitted anything afterward.
Yeah, I don't know, I can give you my set that are in there also on the website.
Yeah, no.
So,
Yeah, I've got copies, but I'll double check which one is in fact the final and make you aware of that probably as soon as tomorrow.
Any other questions for Mr. Wallace here? So, okay, just to recap before we all adjourn here. Trees, we need to make sure that we pay attention to the tree plan, and that you will be going through the engineering department will be your one-stop shop, pretty much.
Yep.
But the Shade Tree and Beautification Commission will need to bless this as well. The stormwater plan is going to be very important, and then that stormwater assessment above and beyond, since it's not an HOA, the city would be maintaining it, so we would not want to burden the other residents to pay for that private stormwater, so it would be we would insist on a dedicated fund that development would take care of. Third is the transportation plan, which there's a lot of creative things that we would still have to sit down and figure that out. And again, have you go through the engineer's office to start that. We'll probably bring in Sam Filkins as well to be a part of that conversation, and whoever you need to have there. What am I forgetting? Rob, you talked about the not the setbacks, but the screening. The screening. So I think that's the other thing.
And also the bigger thing is the access to the lot, I mean, to the property.
Well,
I mean,
I'd say including that in the transportation plan. So,
And when the mayor talks about screening, I think well, at least in the second plan, will be Plan B, I guess, or
Yes.
Plan A that is actually Plan B, or Plan B that is actually Plan A, however you want to look at it. So as I look at it, they've extended Pond A, so there is, we'll call that green space that is running up against the properties on Upland Terrace. You have that. But then there is not a lot of screening, and I know that there was some particular concern about this on the properties along Woodside. Yeah. So that is where I would encourage, your team to look at paying special attention to the people on Woodside.
Got it.
have we
I guess
covered everything? Go ahead, Mr.
the
Bull.
question I think that's probably filling the room is, what's the next step? Will they be back at this commission? Let's perhaps talk about, I'm assuming you still want to proceed with the project, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So then what are their next steps?
Once we get those things outlined, and I think we get at least the
After they answer all
after
these
they answer
questions?
those questions, as far as, unless somebody correct me if I'm wrong, once we outline those things and we are sure that it meets code, what's that? Then
Yeah.
we see an actual application for the site.
Yep.
Then I think we would be bringing it back to this, at which point that would be a public hearing. So there would be opportunity for the public to comment during that time. That's when we would be making the ruling, and this is,
well, we'll
We would
make
be-
a recommendation.
we would be making, is this a recommendation?
We'll have to look.
It's R1.
I don't know that it goes to council.
Well, it's a major subdivision.
Yeah.
We will research whether or not this is a recommendation to council, or if this is, since it's an R1, it may not have to go to council. We will look into because it is a major subdivision, that's right, so
Yeah.
we'll see.
We'll know before we show up.
The first one under the new zoning.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
Right, because
So
we're not
those-
changing the zoning. There's
We're
no
not changing the
request,
zoning.
just to reiterate, there's no request to change the zoning.
Correct.
It's
Okay.
R1, and they're making application under R1.
Correct.
Okay, so it will be back, no matter what. If they want to build something, it has to come back to planning commission.
Yes.
Yes, that's my understanding.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. Any
We'll work-
other?
We'll work with the
questions?
engineer to address those questions,
Yeah.
concerns, issues. Yep.
Yeah, great.
We'll be in
Tracy
touch.
is your one door to the engineering office, so.
Okay.
Start with her. and-
Start with Lacey. Got it. Lacey and I are becoming friends, so that's good.
Any other questions or comments from the commission?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for adjournment. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.
You have a card.
Thank you all for coming.